Hey everyone, welcome to Frack The Canon. Tyler here. Today, I'll be hosting and talking about the live action One Piece, a really big hit show that a lot of people have been watching on Netflix. But for anime fans and manga readers, it's something everyone knows about. It's the most read manga in existence, and has a huge fandom all over the world. So we're all anime and manga and nerddom fans here. So we're here to talk about the live action one and how it ties into the anime. But first, let me introduce my cohorts here. First, we got CJ McCree. How you doing, sir?
Yo, you want my treasure? You can have it. I left everything together in one place.
All right. And before we move on to our other special guests, everyone's repping some merch. What do you got for us, CJ?
Oh, me? Oh, I'm just rocking my little get off redbubble.com, my little Pirate King shirt here. Little post time skip Luffy there.
Nice, nice, awesome. And we also have Renee. Renee, how you doing, ma'am?
Doing well. Doing well.
Yeah, happy you're here with us. I'm seeing you got some rep there. What you got?
Yeah, got my chopper hat.
Yeah, yeah. Chopper, for
It's
those of you guys who are stuck on just the live action, is a character we'll be talking about probably sometime in this episode. Oh, you already took the hat off. It's all right. No need to be
So hey,
embarrassed.
listen.
Little friends
I
here.
do I do have I have a leading question. Before we jump into the minutia, I do have a leading question like what's our One Piece level, right? Like what is our One Piece level? I'll start. I just made it to anime episode 1000 and that's where I stopped. I love One Piece. It's not my favorite anime, but Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy is definitely my favorite anime character by far.
Oh, Renee, what you got?
I am pretty close to where CJ is at. Sorry, I need to adjust my camera again. I am on the anime, and I've only been viewing the anime since I started joining the fandom. I am currently on the whole cake arc because I do not like, uh, you know, blue balling myself waiting for new episodes. So I am sitting on the whole cake arc until I'm ready to move on.
Move on to a different arc. For those who don't watch anime, each arc is like its own saga series or however to explain it. Yeah, me myself, the furthest I made it in terms of a Western audience language, season like four, and I've tried it many times. For those of you guys who don't know One Piece, One Piece has a lot of material and it's really hard to get through if, in certain places. So I'm not the biggest One Piece anime fan, but what I will say, this live action has made me a bigger One Piece fan. Um, so that brings me to my first question here: likes or dislikes? I'll just start with likes or dislikes. Um, I love the anime. I'll start with dislikes. So there's less of those for me. I love the one live action. Dislike is out of the gate. I was like really just like, whoa, what? With Monkey D. Luffy's casting, because he does have I think it's like a Colombian accent,
He's
um,
Mexican.
Mexican accent. The actor is Mexican, but I was reminded from my friends who are anime fans that Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, said that Luffy is Brazilian. Um, and then after learning that, it strengthened my love for the live action because and Ichiro Oda as a writer because he really goes into goes not out of his way, but makes it a point to have a multicultural cast, and it's very evident in the live action casting. And I love that action scenes. Zoro's my favorite character, and the choreography he has alone makes the show a wonderful watch. Plus, the score, the costuming, the sets, they all put a lot of love into it, and I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll reverse the order now. Renee, what are your likes or dislikes of the show?
Well, I like it because you can tell, like you had just said, you can tell they put a lot of care into it because, as most of us are aware, that Netflix has not had a good rep with live action adaptations of anime series. So, and with Ichiro Oda on board, I would expect no less because to me, he is a man of perfection. So, uh, that's what I like about it, how true to the anime it stayed. My dislike about it, honestly, there's some moments in the anime where it's like, you know how eccentric it has to be because it's anime, but to see it in live action, it's kind of a little off-putting. It kind of takes you away from the show a little bit. Like, oh, that was kind of cringe, but overall, it works. Like they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, I agree, certainly. CJ, what you got for your likes and dislikes?
Yeah, like honestly, like kind of to take off on what Renee was just saying, like it's it kind of shocked me how much of the anime is like in the show. You know what I mean? Like I was like watching this and I was just like, oh, this is the freaking anime. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just is this. Like, but I was in like a little bit before we started recording, like I was kind of talking to Tyler, like I like One Piece a lot, but I was not excited for the live action series, for them to do a live action series of One Piece. Like, A, because it's Netflix and they did a couple of live action anime things and they weren't awesome. And I like One Piece, you know what I mean? And it's like, and One Piece is not Cowboy Bebop, which I was just saying to Tyler before we were recording, is a very Western feeling show already.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop feels Western, so it's like you only got to do a little bit to kind of make this, you know what I mean, for a Western audience. Whereas One Piece is one of the most ridiculous cartoony things I've like ever seen. Like to the point where like like some of the like they're every show like has is like in a sense like every shonen anime is kind of like about like, hey, what do we do till we get to the big fight at the end, right? Like in a sense like every shonen anime is like that, and what makes them different is kind of how they fill that time, right? Like so we're waiting, this Dragon Ball Z, we got to fight Frieza. We just take Goku out of the equation, right? We just put him somewhere else and he's training or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Goku, he can't save us. No, because he's over there. He's on Mars and he's lifting like a mountain, you know what I mean, to get ready for Frieza. But we got to hold Frieza off until episode 25, you know what I mean, when we're ready to get him, you know what I mean? Like, whereas like One Piece, like it does the same thing except Luffy gets in like the most ridiculous situations. Like he got like his head caught in between like a rock or something, like, or you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, the two chimneys or
yeah, you know what I mean?
walls.
It's
Yeah.
like, dude, what is happening? But it's so funny, like, too. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny, like, and I wouldn't be such a big One Piece fan if I didn't find it hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, so saying all this stuff, what do I like? I already said Luffy is my favorite anime character. So what I happened is that after watching 1,000 episodes of the anime of One Piece, I fell in love with this crew. And what happened when I started watching this live action anime is like I fell in love all over again with these characters. You know what I mean? Like, so we
Yeah.
have Luffy, and he's being Luffy, and I'm falling in love with Luffy because he's Luffy. And then he meets Zoro, and they have this meet cute moment, and I'm just like, look at that, you know what I mean? And then like freaking him and Nami meet, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is it, this is the crew. I love these characters. Like I could hang out with you guys all freaking. I don't care what form you're in, live action, anime. You know what I mean? Like maybe not manga because I'm like reading, but you know what I mean? Like freaking that's what I love about this show. It took me a minute to like get on board with Luffy because he was so outlandish, and I was like, why is everybody in a normal show and he's in a PBS show series? um, but like I came around because I'm like, well, Luffy is supposed to be kind of weird, and that is kind of like what his charm is. And they are like trying to like do this kind of thing, but I absolutely love the actor. I grew to love him. It was something, it was putting me off until we got to the episode, it's the Syrup Village episode, the second one. And Kobe's there and he like it's after he like pukes all that poison or whatever, and he's just like he's just like, hey, Kobe, look, I gotta go save my friends. Like, don't try to stop me. Like, and he has that serious face, and I was like, oh, those are the two sides of Luffy. He has those. Boom, he's Luffy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was
Mhm.
doing the goofy kind of side before, and I was a little iffy. Like, yeah, it's cool, but then I was like, okay, he's got it. I love that. What I don't love, um, is sometimes things are different because they make something better. Sometimes things are different, like just for different sake. And the show is just starting and it's adapting One Piece, which is, a forever series. So who knows what the point of this will be, but like some of the changes, it's like, why is this? Why? You know what I mean? Like why did you change that? Like, is there a reason? Like, and I'll say that I didn't watch the last two episodes, but like Garp, like why is Garp here right now? You know what I mean? Like, why are we getting so much
Yeah.
Kobe right now? Is that something that for you two, I guess, is that something that like, I don't know, is wrapped up in a way that makes that useful or satisfying or
It it did throw me because we didn't find out about Garp being Luffy's grandfather, right? Until uh
I think it was like
Water
Annie's
7
lobby.
arc.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, yeah. Um so that was like, whoa, okay, the big reveals right there. Uh I do appreciate that they're incorporating Kobe though more in this adaptation because in the anime you meet Kobe and then they just toss him aside like, okay, that was Luffy's first friend and he wants to be a Marine. Okay, bah, he's done. So I kind of like what direction they're going with in regards to Kobe and seeing his character development.
Yeah, I agree. What I took it as is because I noticed that changed too. What I took it as is westernizing because Western audiences are obsessed with conflict, and I think Eastern audiences not as much. And I think they didn't want,
So you're saying like they want that slow burn Eastern audiences, but
yeah,
we need that action like right away.
right. And I think they didn't want to take chances. The Netflix side of things didn't want to take chances after Cowboy Bebop was such a mess. Um, and what I will say, because Renee mentioned it a little bit earlier, is Ichiro Oda was very protective of his IP. He made it a point to get very involved, and actually, he publicly stated that he required multiple reshoots to make
Mm-hmm.
sure they got certain things right. And I'm really happy he did that um, because I do think at some level there were probably many hours of like, okay, what do we change? What can we change? What can't we change? And Oda, I think, maintains the core of all the characters. There are other changes too in certain characters that I noticed that are really blaring. Like Sanji's not a perv at all, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I think the perverted,
Was Sanji
He was
yeah,
not
more of a
just
womanizer,
a
but not like
yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't know that he was a I guess he is kind of like I
he's
don't
not
he's a
like
know. Like
Brooks
nosebleed
level
thing.
perv where
Yeah,
Brooke is always like, can I see your panties?
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Not
Like
like Master Roshi level perv.
but it's
There
But
like
you go.
Sanji's
right.
always trying to hit on somebody. That's why I'm
That's the
like
thing. That's
that's why I
that's what
think
it
that
is.
what makes him different from like a perv who's just like pinching somebody's ass or something, right? Like or,
Yeah,
or like Master Roshi, like you said, like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
uh,
And I know too, like Luffy's not as much of a jerk. In the first few episodes of the anime, like he's like, "Oh yeah, you're fat" or whatever to the, and he'd even say that to the, I forget the name of that first pirate we meet,
Alvita.
Alvida.
Alveda,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I want to talk about her for a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So, we're still in this area of characters. So I'll just take a moment to talk about our favorite characters. And with the casting of them, and then if you have any other characters you want to mention, it'll be a good time to do it. So out of the gate, I'll just share my favorite character, Zoro. Mainly because of how he is casted. I have Messenia, I think is his name. Yeah, he's turned into like the hero of all of live action anime. he's not only in this as Zoro, but also he's in the Saint Seiya anime as the main character. Saint Seiya live action I meant. He's also in Rurouni Kenshin as the villain or whatever. And those are like the two other like decent live action anything for anime. And not only is he an amazing actor, I think, but also a fantastic athlete and martial artist. So I'll just pass it around. We can talk a little bit more about your favorite casting and any other casting, anything you want to talk about certain characters in the show. So whoever wants to grab this one, throwing it your way.
I like all the casting, to be honest. Like I like I'll tell you who I'm missing. Django. Missing Django, like the Michael Jackson clone from Sir
Oh
Village.
yeah.
Missing him. Like, where was he at? I needed him. I needed him in that show. But I like all the casting. I like the guy who's Luffy, like I was saying before. Um I like Zoro and I like Nami, like, and I like the the better thing about that is that they nailed the dynamic between those characters too. You know what I mean? And like they also nailed like what the One Piece, the Straw Hat Pirates are like kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy in a sense, right? Like they
Yeah.
all like
Or the
they all
Ravengers.
yeah, right, because
They're
it's steel crap.
they're a
But
found family.
Yeah.
exactly, like they're this found family, and like each of them bring this like incredible thing to the table, but each of them also lack um parts that the other members make up for, you know what I mean? Like, and so like it's kind of refreshing to see this other adaptation of them and their meeting and seeing that already, like the interactions are right, are where they need to be, you know what I mean? Like it's like, no, like Luffy lacks this, Nami brings this out of Luffy, like,
Mhm.
so when they interact with each other on that level, it's like, yes, that feels right. That feels right because Nami is this way and Luffy is this way, and they bring this certain thing out of each other. You know what I mean? But the same way with every character in the Straw Hats, and it's like everyone has like a specific relationship, like kind of to Luffy, and then how that brings characteristics out of them. But each of them also has a specific relationship to each one of the other Straw Hats too, and like just to see that, you know what I mean, see them meet each other, talk with each other, and bring that out of each other, you know what I mean, like I really liked, because this isn't in the anime, the scene with Zoro and Nami, where they kind of play that little drinking game, and it's just like, oh, you know me, like, all right, drink if you get it wrong, you know what I mean, and they're kind of having this thing because it's like that's not an anime, but it feels so like Zoro and Nami period too, though, you know what I mean, like if I had a minus, some of the like anime does this too, but like some characters are in a like super hurry to be like best friends, you know what I mean, like, or it's just like I didn't necessarily feel like I, on the one hand I did feel Nami's like sense of loss when Zoro got hurt, like because we just found about like a little bit of her past, and I feel like it was touching on some trauma, and that was like kind of what was like affecting her, you know what I mean? But like part of me was just like, well, you're friends already. You just like, you kind of hate this guy, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're all right or whatever. But you know what I mean? I guess that would be a sort of a dislike. Also, I mentioned before, like, hey, if you're gonna change something, I don't know, I kind of want to feel why that's changed. You know what I mean? Before I kind of make a decision, you know, the whole Don Krieg. I mean, yeah, Don Krieg sucks as a villain. Like, we didn't need him, but like, was it better what we got? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know,
So Renee, what casting do you like, and what do you want to add to any
I
other characters?
I have to second CJ's opinion about like the casting is spot on. Like initially when we open with Inaki, that's the actor who plays Luffy, uh and it looks like he's talking, like he's breaking the fourth wall, and I was like, oh no, but then we find out he's talking to the delivery seagull. um like everything, the chemistry with the characters and the actors, it feels spot on. My thing, I was really looking forward to, like after finding out that they were going to introduce Kudo, the butler of Usopp's friend. I forgot her name
I
already. Kaya. Um, I was like, oh, does he do the glasses thing? Does he do the glasses thing? Because that was like such a small characteristic thing. And I was like, no way, they're not gonna have him do it. And then sure enough, he does the adjusting of his glasses with his the palm of his hand. I'm like, he did it. It's the little things, like it's that attention to detail that made me, like CJ had said, fall in love with the show again. Like I found myself wanting to watch it all over again and feel like I'm watching it again for the first time. And that's what this live adaptation has done for me, and especially in regards to the casting. Um, dislikes.
Not only did he adjust his glasses, but he did it like 6.5 million times.
All the more better.
Yes.
um, dislikes. I don't know. My thing is Alvita. We know that she gets a devil fruit later on. Is Netflix going to go in that direction where they make her like the they physically change her appearance after she consumes the devil fruit, the slip fruit, the sube no mi. Um, like so right now she looks. I'm not trying to be offensive. She looks portly. Um, but then in the anime, they slim her down and make her like gorgeous looking. And I'm like, is Netflix going to go in that direction? Would people be offended? Because we're like in an era of body positivity,
Yeah,
you
people got
know?
offended when Adele lost weight. And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, someone's gonna be offended at anything, and they'll, you can't do anything without not offending someone nowadays. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It might be another physical change they do. But I do think she is gonna eat the fruit, and especially at the end when she raises her glass to at the to the camera or
buggy.
whatever. Yeah, the buggy. Yeah, we know she's coming back.
Yeah,
And
well, that's another one.
I'm
Oh,
of the
sorry.
mind too that One Piece is like, even if with something like that, you know what I mean? Like, let's say that's a blemish on their record or what have you. One Piece is pretty freaking progressive, though. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
for a way, like it's pretty freaking progressive. Like, so, like, I feel like they would make up for it eventually, depending on how long the live action series continues.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of that, that transitions us into our next question here is the first season of One Piece live action was 8 episodes, which encompassed about 90 episodes of the anime. So how far do y'all think they're gonna go? And who's gonna be like the main villain? And maybe we'll talk about a little bit of the casting in that too. I have no idea, so I'll just leave it up to you guys to talk about it. Whoever wants to jump in.
all right. So honestly, I think they're gonna go as far as the Alabasta arc, or at
Question
least
Addendum to that. Do you like starting Alabasta, like getting to Alabasta, or like you
and
think they're
that's
going to
not.
actually?
Yeah, as I was saying it, I'm like, wait, leading up to it, or because that in itself could be a whole like another season, the Baroque works. So
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
maybe that's what it'll be. It'll be the introduction of Chopper and Robin, and we'll have Vivi on the crew temporarily, and then it leads up to the Arabasta arc, and we meet Crocodile.
Yeah,
See,
I
that's
thought.
what I'm saying. Oh, well, I
Sorry,
know
I was
the
just gonna say really quick. I thought Crocodile would be like the big bad they're kind of building up to because the Alabaster arc's like 40 episodes. So I don't know. I was gonna say. Sorry, CJ, go ahead.
no, I was because I was saying in episode one they teased Baroque works. And so I was just like, oh, already, really? Like that's cool,
Yeah,
actually. Because one thing I really like, another thing I really like about the show is having had the benefit of being of being so deep into the anime, um, and seeing what they're hinting at that I know comes later. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, that's so cool because you're already laying the groundworks for it in a way that like the anime kind of didn't. But like, even though I don't want to take credit because Oda like really freaking is in his bag a lot, like with certain things, you know what I mean? Like, but like, I really think that's cool that they laid the groundwork for that. But yeah, I was talking with Tyler about that before we got on. Like, where is season 2 gonna go? Like they crunched this so far. Like, are we
Mhm.
gonna be in Alabasta like in season 2? Like, how long are they gonna spend like in the little kind of beginning of the Grand Line kind of area? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, are we even gonna meet Laboon? You know what I mean? Like, are
Yeah.
we like because that would be a shame to not meet Laboon. And then it's like, are we gonna get to that wasn't Elbath. What was that? Little Garden? Um are we gonna yeah. Are we gonna get are we
That's
gonna
gonna be Laboon.
yeah, like are we
He's right
gonna
here.
let
Guess what?
oh yeah, right. Are we gonna let Usopp meet um God, what Groggy? What is his name? The Giants.
Yeah, the two giants, right? On the
Yeah,
island.
it's like, are we gonna let Usopp meet them? Like, are we gonna do like the whole pre-Baroque work, getting pre-Alabasta, like tangling with Baroque works thing? You know what I mean? We're gonna make Mr. Three and all that. I can't wait to meet Bon Clay, number one. But but yeah, I hope that we get Chopper and Correja next season. That'd be cool. But I like
Yeah,
that. I like that whole arc, to be honest, and it has one of my
Yeah.
favorite Luffy moments. They had my Luffy moment number one is in this arc, which is in the anime. It's episode 37, when he shares his treasure with Nami, which is they do in the live action series here. That is like my what that's like my all time favorite like Luffy moment, like with him, just like of course I will help you, Nami, like freaking like
Hmm.
gets me every time. But the
And he trusts her with his straw hat. He doesn't trust anybody else.
yes, it's and that's what makes the moment so great. And it's so like and it's like no words kind of, but I mean they saying words, but it's like it's just
showing,
all
not telling. Yeah.
exactly. Like it's just like boom, like yes, here, hold my hat, chick. Anyways, like freaking um but no, like yeah, like I hope we get the Chopper because that's like the moment number two for me. Like get Chopper
Mhm.
telling Chopper to get onto the crew because he's all like, "No, I'm a monster. I can't come with you guys." And he's like, "Shut up, get on the crew." Like I freaking love that, and I hope we get that. You know what I mean? I don't need Wapple,
Mhm.
but like I will say, like there are certain things that like One Piece does, and I'm sure a lot of fans are like, "Oh, we can do without this." Like I'm kind of the opposite because it's like I was kind of telling Tyler, like One Piece is like not concerned with how much of a rush you are in getting to certain pieces of the show. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like no, slow down. We're just kind of hanging out. You know what I mean? Like when we get to adventure, like we'll get to adventure. You know what I mean? Like just kind of hang out with us and the crew. You know what I mean? So there's a part of me that's like, no, don't get rid of the freaking what's his name? Freaking Foxy, freaking the Foxy Pirates arc. You know what I mean? No, don't
Oh
get
yeah,
rid of that.
you're right.
You know what I mean?
Foxy.
Like, no, I'd want stuff in there like that because
That
like
that
that,
needs to be in there. Yeah.
yeah, like that's so One Piece. It's so One Piece, like to have like this ridiculous stuff that's like it's serious, but like it's just a different way. You know what I mean? And then it hits you in a different way. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot a lot there, CJ. I can tell you're very passionate about One Piece. So Renee, what are some characters you hope make it in, and if you have any casting ideas for them?
So I'm sure we're gonna get Vivi. Because if we're gonna lead up to Arabasta, she's without a doubt gonna be part of this next season. Uh I know we're gonna get I sense that we're gonna get Nico Robin, Chopper. I'm really curious about how they're gonna do Chopper though. With
Same.
like, will he be CGI? Will he be puppet?
That's
God
exactly what
forbid
CJ
he.
said.
Huh? Huh?
That's exactly what CJ said right before you hopped
Uh,
on.
nice.
If I had a guess, I would guess that he's in his human form, just with makeup, like most of the time, instead of like in the show where he's in the little that form.
So like a live
That form.
actor dressed up like a humanized reindeer.
Yeah, like that's what I would guess, just like budget wise. That's what I would guess. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean that would make sense, but also like it would be. I hope they do it well if they go in that direction.
yeah, he just looked like the
But
cowardly lion, I guess.
yeah, you know what? You're right. And then Kurea, like you see there, I want to see her, and I know Jamie Lee Curtis has expressed interest in playing the role, and I feel like since that has been like brought up, like that's in my head now. Like I can't imagine anybody else playing Kurea except Jamie Lee Curtis. So that would be really cool to see.
I've seen the rumors to that, and I would love that actually. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is a great actress, so she would kill whatever, but she would kill that role certainly.
Just
Yeah.
won an Oscar.
And who'd have thought she's a fan of One Piece? Like what?
Yeah. Yeah, True Lies is one of my favorite movies for many reasons.
I love True Lies.
All right, so we got to land this plane here. Let's leave it open for final thoughts. Renee, you have final thoughts you want to share?
Uh, really great. Good job to the cast and crew and Oda for creating such a great live action adaptation. Uh, and I really hope we see a season 2 soon, especially after the strikes are over. That'd be great. I'm surprised it's gone on this long.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, I feel like the addendum to that. I feel like the momentum, at least public opinion, is on the side, of the writers and the actors. You know what I mean? That of course means absolutely nothing, but hopefully, you know what I mean, that weighs enough to kind of like get this kind of moving along.
Yeah.
Because we all, you know what I mean, we're on this show. We like nerd culture, and it has to be written. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hollywood,
not by AIs.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So CJ, what you got? Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. The show, it hit me better than I thought. I do wish for more in the future. Yeah, keep going. They're kind of killing it, I guess. It's decent. I I dig that they westernized it. Um, but beyond that, but I dig that they westernized it without making it like without changing the story too. They westernize it, but they're also still following the story. You know what I mean? They're like, this is a Western version of what this is. You know what I mean? But it's not Dragon Ball Evolution. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, you said it.
it's just like this is a Western version of this. Like, but also we changed this. You know what I mean? Like, but in a way, it kind of is Dragon Ball Evolution, just without them mucking the story up.
No, don't you dare.
No,
It's
what?
not.
Hey,
It's
listen,
not.
listen. Without that, like it's a
We don't talk
westernized
about it.
version of One Piece. You know what I mean?
I need therapy after watching Dragon Ball.
Like,
I'll just share really quick to caveat why I disagree with it being Dragon Ball Evolution is Dragon Ball Evolution is at its core is nothing Dragon Ball, whereas One Piece at its core is everything One Piece. So they westernized it minus what it's at its core.
yeah, but
That's
they westernized it, but they didn't follow the story. That's my difference. That's what I'm saying. They westernized it, but they did not stick to the story.
yeah.
This they westernized and stuck to the story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you already even saying like, oh, Sanji's not this and that. No, it's just the version. It's a different version of what he is. You know what I mean? Like it's just the Western version. Usopp can finally get some play with Kai. You know what I mean?
The only kiss in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only kiss, by the way. Which blows my mind. But so final thoughts for me. It's actually very nicely transitions from what you were saying. Is I think what is so great about the live action is it does, although there were changes to characters, the core of who they are is still there. Luffy, for a great example, like what he stands for. Well, he stands for his friends, protects his friends, wants them to achieve their hopes and dreams, and will, turn on his angry self to make sure and protect his crew. And that's why CJ, he's your favorite, but I agree completely. He's one of the best protagonists in all of anime because he is so true to that core of himself. Likewise, there are little changes here and there to characters like Sanji and Zoro and everything, but they are them at their core. And I think that's why One Piece works, Cowboy Bebop doesn't, Dragon Ball Evolution doesn't. But Oda did his due diligence in making sure that audiences all around the world will come to learn his characters, and I really love that. And anyways, Frank is here. We've landed our plane. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Frack The Canon. I was Tyler. This was CJ, and that was Renee, who is now Choppa. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
We are